Welcome to the Texas Goat Radio Show. I'm your host, Pretorius. This is part 8, I do believe, of the 1733 live stream.
You lie to people? Yeah, that's all I do. But if you tell the truth, they won't like you. It's actually the opposite. Thanks for the spell breaking, BB anytime. Air Cool Bear, Bobby Lee can verify Tim Pool has no dick. He would have sucked it by now. Jesus Christ. They might want you more and be sad you're not with them, but they won't hate you. Very true. Yeah, I mean, there's sadness in hookup culture. It's not.
He's got to hear his family or his kids playing on the other side of that door for him to be acting the way he is right now.
I don't recommend it at all, but I would never have anyone hate me. Like that, because like hookup culture has a lot of like damage and hatred and like chicks being like, you fucking asshole. Like I never have had that ever. Like there's been girls that have been like, you know, didn't want me in their life anymore. Like I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but it just wasn't like vitriolic because of the lack of lying or promising. And sometimes they'd almost like me for the same reason. They wouldn't even want a boyfriend. Like a lot of girls wouldn't want to have a relationship. So they'd be like, oh, Owen's in town 2 weeks a year and he's great to be around and it's a blast. I get to have, you know, a sense of intimacy, but not have any responsibility. And I get to go back to being selfish. And I would just be like a piece of trash floating through their city. Like looking back, it wasn't anything to brag about. It's not like I was the man. It's actually quite sad. Where it was because a lot of women would use guys for the same thing. Like they want a guy that isn't threatening or scary, but is like they're attracted to them, but it isn't like serious, and they know the guy will leave and not get attached. Enter classical piano playing touring comedian Owen Benjamin. Like they wouldn't be like mad. They'd be like, yeah, you're leaving Monday, right? And I get to go back to being like, you know. And it's like that's it. And then some people stay in that zone until they just slowly die a meaningless, empty, lonely life. And I could see that. I could see that it wasn't a fulfilling situation. You can't build anything. It's like sandcastles. You make a sandcastle, it gets washed away every day. It's like, it's nothing. There's no foundation, no work, no beauty. You know, like with time, like me and Amy, we know each other so well, and the love we have for each other is so deep that you can't recreate that. All you have is these fleeting injections of pheromones and ego and just escape. You know, and that's what hookup culture is. But if you don't lie to people, they don't hate you. You just pass through life like a ghost. And then people are like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. Tall, right? Meanwhile, they have a giant, beautiful family, and they're doing great. And it's like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy once. Pretty sure he's like that really tall guy who played Coldplay and called that guy a fag. That's all you're ever going to be. It's like it. It's just a little flicker in someone's brain. Nothing of your own. This day, just a traveling salesman. Congratulations, you're gay. Sound Money Bear went on a first date. I've never had a date say fag and nigger on a date. We are going out again. That's awesome. Sopco Bear saying words like fag or nigger is the true sound of freedom. Yeah, it is. I see Tim Ballard say nigger. Okay. I hope this letter finds you crushing. It's been a while. You said something.
Yeah, that word. Hold on. That was one of the things that I used to. How would you say that? That I would find intriguing is him openly saying that word 5 or 6 years ago. Mind you, 5 or 6 years ago. And so, but as a whole lot of people, you realize that just because you can don't mean you should. And it's, I mean, yeah, it's, I mean, 5 or 6 years, 6 or 7 years ago. It just gets old. It gets old. For no other reason. It could be for no other reason than, dude, I've heard it 1,000 times by now. Give it a rest already. You know? We've all been there where especially as a child, you say something and you get a laugh or you get a reaction, and then you just drive it into the ground and it becomes absolutely meaningless. Which I can see the point of that, but I don't know. It's just one of those, like, grow, mature. And that's one of the reasons why he is as dangerous as I think he is because if you compare video of how he acted 3 years ago, he hasn't changed. He hasn't grown at all in any way, except for probably worse. I think there's a healthy argument to make that he has gotten worse. But as far as growing and maturing and actually becoming a better person, absolutely not.
The fact that you think that many people have received a divine tap on the shoulder, they've been given the feeling that they really need to figure out how this realm works, how soil works, how to grow food, and that the time to become less reliant is now. I could not agree more about this feeling. This is from Mr. Permy Bear, by the way. For many years, ever since we started farming and homesteading, I've had a feeling that the day would come when equipment wouldn't be available. At a time where I couldn't go buy...
So this is Mr. Permy Bear. This dude is, in my book, in my personal opinion, probably about as dangerous as Owen, and the same aspect as Amy and Coddington. He is actively participating in this scam, and therefore is at least close to being as guilty.
Fertilizer or seeds if I need it. Maybe not even.
And he has a young manservant who is, the last time that I saw was 2 names, which I might have heard that he actually left. Hey Boy. If anybody knows, did Hey Boy make his way out of the whole cult scenario? He has his real name, and then he had his cult name, and then he had his slave name. So much abuse. So much.
Power for extended periods of time or permanently going forward. It wasn't so much.
But that's the type of human being Permy Bear is.
A rational conclusion I came to based on the state of the world in 2012 was more of a feeling I had. Not a fear and spiraling kind of feeling, just something I couldn't shake. Yeah, I've had the same thing. The strong feeling I had that it was time to get out of debt and move to Missouri was the same kind of feeling. Sure, it made sense on paper, but there was this thing that was always there and was much more than logic. When we first started homesteading and I started looking at the various infrastructure we would need, especially for animals, I designed everything with the idea that all things we needed to do to manage the homestead should be able to be accomplished without needing things like tractors, ATVs, generators, or even power if need be. At the same time, I recognized that most of the things I wanted to do would be easier with equipment, but I didn't want to put us in a position of having to rely on the equipment to accomplish our task. When we moved to Missouri and started scaling the farm up, I didn't forget about this feeling, but I definitely let it slide sometimes and went with the easier route now that I finally had a tractor. Things like round bales of hay and a feeder instead of square bales, well, those bales weigh 1,000 to 1,200 pounds. There's no way I can move them without a tractor. If I can't move them, feeding becomes a bit of a shit show. The same day I heard you talk about this right at the end of a particularly challenging week within a ridiculously hard month. In June, the tractor blew an inner plug of some sort, dumped all the oil into the clutch, and then out of the tractor and into the field. New plug, new clutch plate.
I don't know what's going on with the audio. I don't know if it's my phone. I don't know if it's because I have it on double the speed. I have no idea what's going on with that.
And a whole lot of money later. I had a leak-free tractor with oil on the inside instead of the outside, but now with no hydraulics. No front-end loader to unload feed from the mill. No 3-point to move bales of hay from my neighbor's field. Also in June, both lawnmowers broke. The ATV drive belt broke. The tires on my trailer had to be replaced because one basically blew. I had to replace a truck tire that wore down way faster than it should have and faster than the rest, and the list goes on. Basically, it felt like nearly every piece of equipment I owned broke in some way. That night, I was pondering the possibility that God was trying to tell me that this equipment wasn't going to be available and to get used to that. I put in my earbuds, started the stream as I usually do, and got ready to milk the cows. As I was sitting on my bucket, you talked about the tap, and I got goosebumps. Talk about a synchronicity. I have no idea if or when, but here I am again with that feeling and not being able to get that out of my mind.
All right. And so I'm going to slow it down and I guarantee you it's not because I want to hear. That's the problem. Whenever you do support somebody like Owen, even if you do say something good, I force myself to go through as much content of Owen's as I do because I think that it serves a purpose. People like Permy Bear who actively participate and encourage this type of behavior and then claim that it's for virtuous reasons and whatnot absolutely disgust me. Because for them not to, I would have to believe that and I'm not talking for the broad spectrum of all of his supporters, but people like Permy Bear and Coddington in particular, for me not to be disgusted by them, I would have to believe that they have been so manipulated by Owen that rational thought has left them. And what I mean by that is people that have physically been around Owen, we've all been around somebody and we decided, I don't want to be around this person. This person is not a good person to be around. They have, and Vertec Tackle, same boat. Been around for a couple of years, have been in open, I'm not going to say that, been in actual physical relationships with Owen. And I don't mean that in any kind of way besides, hey man, let's hang out. And so I would have to believe that they have been so manipulated that reality is no longer reality to them. And I don't believe that. And so all 3 of them are disgusting human beings in my book.
So thank you for the kick in the ass to get back to figuring out how low-tech solutions to keep going and hopefully finding ways to share them with our community. This is awesome. Bear for All Season says, I know 5 Mexicans that can move that for you. I know. Labor is the answer to a lot of this shit. Well, you just get enough dudes and you just,
And that's one of their grifts is Permy Bear. He's got land that he's trying, as far as I know, trying to offload it onto Owen and the cult. But during this bear festival, this cult festival, oh my, hold on just a second. Oh my,
that's why I'm so into community.
Terrible acid reflux just now, which it's my fault. Anyways, oh yeah. The whole cult festival thing that they got going on in less than 6 months. One of the things that they're trying to get their cult members accustomed to, is doing free labor. They're going to have a hay bale workshop class, stacking hay bales. I don't know if you've ever done it. I have. Would I do it for free? Not a chance. Unless, obviously, hey man, you want to come hang out and do some free labor? There's stuff that I'll do for friends and family. But as far as random strangers, no.
It's one of the many reasons, but it's just... Luckily this time around, I have a buddy just down the way who lived in the jungle for many years. Knows a lot about a lot. Chris Gardner. He's into low-tech solutions, loves to brainstorm with me. They must have a great life down there, huh? Must be nice. You got Gardner and Permy just hanging out, talking solution.
You got Chris Gardner. If anybody's ever heard him speak, he's got some, they would call it sugar in the tank. So that's somebody that he knows. I believe they've probably met in real life. But then he sees somebody like Tim Ballard, who's like, oh, I can spot him from a mile away. Yeah, okay, Owen.
That sounds awesome. They were coming in steadily, and I didn't want to be Lucy at the Chocolate Factory. Did BB read the Jew joke? No, I did not, Codsworth. Hey, Gunnington, easy on the anti-Semitism. He can kick the shit out of a football, though I'm not sure yet how that last skill will come in handy. We will survive the summer. How funny it would be like during the apocalypse if we just really need someone to kick a 70-yard field goal to make it all work. Tractors are great. They can be a pain sometimes, though. That's true, Seacow. Yeah, I'm not just anti-technology, but it's always good to have backups. Black Belt Bear, in a drought lately in southern Florida, can you ask the Jews to take care of it? Thanks for not looking for another hurricane. We're not looking for another hurricane. Just some afternoon thunderstorms. If they can brew up some, the garden is thirsty. Hang on 1 second. Jews? Yeah, it's me. Listen, do you mind throwing some rain in Florida? Not looking for a hurricane.
I'm just... Yeah. How long does this...
I'm being at our booth selling seeds with me. Please pray for comfortable weather for the pregnant lady. Jews, yeah, it's me again. We got a pregnant...
Oh, my.
I've really gotten him under control. Afterwards, you can return to Idaho alone, and we can all learn what happens to asshole goats who think, why go to the mall when you can go down the hall? And never learn no means no. 2 birds, 1 stone, if you catch my drift. Let's just say I'll imagine my fruit trees crying out, he's trying to hit me, and I'll swoop in like Lady Al and deliver some Missouri justice. Wink, wink, and nudge, nudge. I mean, I'll smear Topher's biochair all over my white skin and pretend we are at St. Louis instead of rural Missouri, and he's straight up tripping. I'll blast that fool. I didn't know thing. Half a bowler band knows what I mean, y'all. Then direct it back a tattoo, a teardrop next to my eye shit. They will be juiced, though. Keep practicing your arm, sharpen your wit. I fear you will need it. You can practice your insults on that son of a bitch goat. 3 stones. Check me, Billy bitch. Now that I've solidly violated the 1-page rule, I beg His Majesty's pardon and offer this tribute as recompense. You've been forgiven. Crush on and look forward to seeing you in Missouri. Sincerely, Mr. Permy Bear. P.S. Is it still gay to enter a building if you're getting paid to fix it? No, it's the only way it's not gay. Okay.
Did they end that letter with "I love you" and Mr. Permy Bear?
You've been forgiven. Crush on and look forward to seeing you in Missouri. Sincerely, Mr. Permy Bear. P.S. Is it still gay to enter a building if you're getting paid to fix it? No, it's the only way it's not gay. Okay.
I honestly thought that's how that person ended that letter. I love you and Mr. Permy Bear.
So what was I supposed to play? In the flash. I gotta go pick some blueberries.
All right. So I'm gonna pause this and get through the music.
Owen and Amy, enjoy the mangoes from my homestead in Naples, Florida. I'd send you fresh ones, but UPS does not want me sending perishable items, and that's their choice. Also included are some of the new air pruning trays from my company, Bootstrap Farmer. If you need any more or any like the ones I sent last year, just ask. Hopefully we will see you at the festival. Kind regards, Bootstrap Bear. Thank you, Bootstrap Bear, and I'm very excited to see all you guys at the festival. Welcome to the machine. Oh, there's a polar bear I gotta get to here. There's a polar bear. Let me just get to that one. What did you dream? It's all right, we told you what to dream. Oh, Trump. How am I gonna maintain that for 2 pages? Hang on. Hey, Robert. Fuck anything, Kennedy. It's me, Downtown Danny. I know you haven't spoken.
Oh, so the Bowler Bear. I think he's a half black, half white guy. He was in the Beartaria cult propaganda film. He was the guy that played Darth Vader's character from, because they obviously ripped off something else. They can't really do anything original, except for possibly Bowler Bear. He does write a bunch of letters in characters. There was one, I think it was the first time that I saw Owen read a letter. And I was 100% convinced that it wasn't a genuine letter, and people corrected me. And, well, they didn't correct me on that because it wasn't a real letter from someone. But I thought Owen wrote it, and they corrected me because Owen, yeah, I think he genuinely steals the majority of everything that he has. And if it wasn't for the Bears contributing to him, I don't think he would actually have any kind of material whatsoever.
Oh, no, he said like Zoolander. I can do like Zoolander. Okay. Stump Grinder Bear, 35 horse Macy Ferguson with a grapple loader plus dump trailer. My best purchase in a long time. Nice. And thank you, DUI, for the follow and the lemons. Hey, Rabbit, fuck anything Kennedy. It's me, Downtown Danny. I know we haven't spoken enough on stage to be considered for best supporting crisis actor. Boy Swagger. The gays will. Condo behind the summer.
Oh, my.
What do you say? Trump Kennedy 2024? Make a. My all today. Today was, I left it on the field. I did the Jesus prayer thing. I went deep at the deep state. Man, I really, what would I do? 2 hours of,
I did the Jesus prayer thing. And he's honestly wanting praise for that. I left it on the field today, guys. Gave it my all. Wow.
It was just pure. The whole time I've been puffing on a pipe. It was great. Thanks, Jacobet. Not that your endorsement means a goddamn thing to me, but, you know, I still appreciate it. I appreciate that you got out of bed today and you're not piss your pants drunk. Your dad was a champion boxer. You know, imagine how he feels about you and Mr. Miggles. He must be fucking disgusted. Okay. Codsworth, final super chats. By the way, if you want to save the children from the jungles of Colombia, it's P.O. Box.
That makes me violent. That makes me not violent. It doesn't make me violent. It gives me feelings of, yeah. Violence is never the answer. But sometimes it's a healthy conversation to have.
490 Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. EntropyStream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy and is always subscribed to unauthorized.tv. He's pissed, says Jacobet. Yeah, well, maybe he could have done a better job.
Bullying is not good. Violence is not good. TOS, you know.
Raising you and you wouldn't be such an embarrassment. You know, a lot of these alpha dads, they didn't put in the time. They're too busy crushing puss and punching guys. They forgot about old Jacobet, just sitting there alone with his little video games, doodling on his skin. You know, your dad's greatness, he could have taught you something, right? Taylor Bear, hey, Taylor Bear, how's my suit looking? Yeah, the alpha dads, they think that just their DNA is going to be passed on. And it's like, you got to actually teach the kids how to crush. Just run around crushing puss, punching dudes, getting drunk. Meanwhile, old Jacobet's...
There's no reason to say that word twice like that.
Mr. Miggles getting pulled into cults. Jacobet's dad took out his disappointments on his son on the punching bag. Yeah, but I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's even Jacobet's fault. I mean, it is at this point. Jacobet doesn't have to wake up and get fucking piss your pants drunk every day. But, you know, it's a lesson. It's a lesson for all of us dads to learn. It's what's it called? A cautionary tale. Jacobet's got some good DNA. He's a smart kid. You know, he means well, but he's just such a fuck up, you know? And then his dad's like, oh, Jacobet, you're no son of mine. Look at you doodling on your skin with Mr. Miggles. It's like, well, Dad, maybe you didn't have to just crush puss all the time and just fight dudes for no reason. Maybe you talk to my dad, he crushes. Yeah, Taylor Bear's dad crushes. I'm talking about Jacobet. I'm not talking about you, Taylor Bear. I'm talking about Jacobet. I'm talking about Jacobet. Jacobet's dad's like a legend. Jacobet's dad's like a champion boxer. Poor Jacobet is just running from cult to cult, trying to figure out. And he's a smart dude. He's got good DNA. He's got a natural ripped vibe. I mean, he's a drunk.
Did y'all hear what he just running from cult to cult?
Lazy, but yet he's still got muscles. That's DNA. But good DNA without proper cultivation is just another dead weed. Jacobet's dad's a proper fella. Yeah, he's a solid guy. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm a proper fella. I'm a strong man. How do I not end up with a Jacobet?
Oh, my goodness.
I end up like that. Just your
He's one of those people that, oh, could you imagine? He might have been a better person if he wasn't so tall. I've met more tall people who are arrogant and disrespectful just for the only reason, in my opinion, because fewer people have stepped up to them.
All day long, and I don't teach my kids how to fucking crush. What happens then? My kids end up with a Mr. Miggles, fucking tattoos, and just nonsense all over their arms, trying to figure out the esoteric nature of fucking Buddha all day. It's unbelievable. Codsworth, super chats. Really, no one? How many people are watching right now, Codsworth? Do a quick tally. Jack is going to be your Jacobet? No, he's not, because I'm gonna do a good job. No, trust me, I'm haunted. I see potential in you, Jacobet. You got a good heart. But it's like, someone's got to pull you out of that hole you dug for yourself. Jacobet's best ally of his life is mocking by his replacement father figure. It's true. But it's kind of healthy in a way. Hang on, I have one more thing I have to open. I think I'm good for Jacobet. I'm not a replacement father figure. I'm like a replacement.
So we know the numbers aren't good if he doesn't say the numbers, because that's, I think, the second or third time during this one live stream that he's asked for the numbers. And you would think that if they were good, he would brag about it.
Older brother. I'm a terrible replacement father figure for people, but I do think I serve the purpose of like mocking properly. Oh, Cucumber, I just got it. I'll read it tomorrow. I'll read this tomorrow. I appreciate you, Cucumber. I literally just got your letter. I've left it on the field. I'm now just attacking a young man for no reason. I'm the oldest, so it makes sense. Yeah, you don't need another dad. Your dad sounds pretty great. But you do need an older male in your life that just mocks you. Like, I had a great older brother. Mock me, beat me. 1303 on Twitter, so 1100 on Rumble. But don't we also have Odyssey and D-Live and Unauthorized and all that? I mean, when you add it all together, we must be over 2,000, right, Codsworth? Why not consider yourself a mentor? I don't know, Persian Jew. How about you don't label the goyim? What, do you want me to wear a little gold star to let you know who I am?
If there's over 2,000, I'm going to say, just my opinion, of course, obviously, nothing really to back it up. Probably 40, possibly, people that actually listening, not ironically or with any other intent. There's probably about 40 people that watch him the way he wants people to watch him.
All right. We should admit 2 banned gammas a year to the festival, have them box for re-verification. I just can't do that. I despise gammas. So like 1,600, 2,900 if you include Twitter. I don't include Twitter for my live numbers. I'd like to get our live numbers over 2,000. I don't feel good about 1,600. I don't feel good about that at all. Is that including all, Codsworth?
That does include all, and yeah, I don't feel good about that either. It should be just a few, really.
1,600 total? That's shit. Where the hell is everyone? Oh, they're saving the children. Jesus Christ. What you guys witnessed today, some of the best comedy that's ever been made.
No.
Okay, I'm an only child, but I had older schoolmates who mocked, bullied me, and made me better. It helps men, as long as it's not to destroy. I started paywalling Rockfin. Ooh, that's what it is. I like that though, Codsworth. Well done. But some of the freeloaders have to D-Live. I don't mind freeloaders as long as they actively participate. Did Twitch hurt us when we lost Twitch? Did we lose some people? I feel like if we're not over 2,000, it's like, what's the fucking point? 1,600 people? Why do I even get out of bed, right, Jacobat? That's what you think about every single day. Twitter maxed out live at 33. Yeah, I think Codsworth is counting totals, which I'm not for. I don't count the total on Twitter. It's how many are watching at that moment. Yeah, I don't count the Twitter as live. Twitter live is like 50 people. I don't lie to myself about live viewers to make myself feel better, Codsworth. Yeah, like post live total viewers on Twitter.
You know what? That's one of the reasons. That's one of the few things he doesn't actively lie about. And the reason why he doesn't actively lie about that is because he can't. It will hurt him. He knows that he has to have a certain amount of viewers in order to get the amount of money that he needs in order to sustain how he lives his life right now. And he knows on average, and this is one of the arguments that I've got saying that he is an absolute thief, is because during the Bertaria scam, he had been doing this whole grifting thing for a while. He knows how much money on average comes through. And that's one of the reasons why he attached himself to the whole Christian aspect, is because he knew that whenever he acts in a certain way, his money would go up, because Christians are generous, especially towards other Christians. And I say that is good behavior. Now, if you come across a homeless person, I wouldn't encourage you to say, well, do you believe in Jesus before you help them? You know, that'd be kind of strange. But he knew that and he understood that. But what my point is during the first part of the Bertaria scam, the foundation that all of this is built upon, he was actively saying, give me money and I'm going to do this. Not one time did he ever say, put Bertaria on there if you want it to go to Bertaria. That came later on. And so that's why I say that he built his house, that he bought this land for himself with Bertaria funds, because he knew, looking at his numbers, it's about average. And then whenever he did the Bertaria scam, the most money he has ever gotten in one day was that one day, that first day, through the and just through the link that Coddington put up. $200,000 from one stream. That's just what we know about. And then he came back and said, if you want it to go to Bertaria, put Bertaria on it. So he knows that if it's not over 2,000 people watching, then he just can't do it.
Be decent, but 1,600 is Jew. It's clearly 1,800. There's 3 analytics on Twitter. Well, let's take the one that's the least comfortable. I don't like to be comfortable, Codsworth. I don't like to make believe, because then I end up like poor Jacobat playing with a goddamn stuffed animal. The Twitter live isn't accurate to what you're seeing. Oh, interesting. I'd like our not including Twitter for our live viewers to be over 2,000. I don't like to make myself feel better, Codsworth. Codsworth, do we have any final super chats? I forgot to, have you answered that? BB is going to need Mr. Mingles soon. I don't need Mr. Mingles. I'm doing a classically long send-off today because I lost track of dear sweet Codsworth. He's running around. He's a...
No, yeah, classically long. If you ever wonder why he lands the plane, it takes him 30 minutes. It's because he's absolutely waiting on more money.
Oh, we're like 8 guys. I never count the impression numbers. That would be diluted. That's like the people passing by in a mall. It's a good point, Codsworth. But you count the watch numbers. But is that live? I want to know how many people are fucking watching live right now. It better be over 2,000, or else everyone's gay, including the people watching. We're going to do some collective punishing. Godsworth, collectively punish. Twitch was basically Ming holding court with 5 strangers. That's hilarious, Godsworth. Well done. That's why I hired him as a butler, because of his classic wit. He's actually from Britain. If you should name your next rooster Mr. Miggles. It's not Mingles, it's Miggles. Does Jacob call his stuffed animal Mr. Mingles? Yeah, group punishments. Get in here, homo, so we're not gay. Yeah. I need a super chat for working on my Buick. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, you have a Buick. Depends on what year and whether or not you brag about it. I'm just double checking with Godsworth. I think he's like moonlighting as other people's butler. Kyneton should open for you at the festival. He is opening for me at the festival. Well, it's 0 on Twitter because we pulled out, but there's always 2 numbers to measure: views, eyeballs, including revisits, and unique viewers' body count. I'll go with unique viewers. We're caught up. Oh no, it's fine. We can go. Collective punishment sounds like social justice. It's fine with me. I'll take helicopter rides if I have to. We're getting over 2,000. All right, I'll see you guys on Monday. Be fruitful, multiply. Don't be fruity boy guy.
All right, this is the Texas Goat Radio Show, and I'm your host, Matorius. As always, till next time.